A story is only as good as its ending, right? Think about the stories that we love. Think about Star Wars, for example. Would we love Star Wars as much if at the end the Death Star was not destroyed and Luke Skywalker and Han Solo, Princess Leia, the droids, everyone gets destroyed and crushed by the Empire? No, of course not. It wouldn't be that good of a story. Would we love The Princess Bride as much if Prince Humperdinck married Buttercup instead of Wesley? Wesley was killed tragically by the prince. No, that'd be a terrible story. Would we love Lord of the Rings the way we do if the orcs hunted down Frodo and Sam and killed them and got the ring and took it back to Sauron so he could plunge Middle-earth into a second darkness? No, that would be awful. Terrible story. We like stories that end happily, and I think that's because the capital S true story, the story that God is telling, that is, also has a happy ending. There's something hardwired in us that loves a happy ending because the true story has a happy ending. Ruth also has a happy ending. In chapter 4, starting in verse 13, it goes like this. So Boaz took Ruth, and she became his wife. When he made love to her, the Lord enabled her to conceive, and she gave birth to a son. That's a really happy ending, right? I mean, think about how this story started. It started with famine and death. It continued with uncertainty and survival in the midst of widows trying to make their way in a world where there was really no future for them. And yet somehow, against all odds, Boaz and Ruth end up getting married. And she gives birth to a son. And if the story stopped right there, it'd be a great story, a happy ending. But the ending only gets better because the son, whose name is Obed, ends up being the grandfather to David. And if you're keeping score at home, that's right, that's King David, Israel's greatest king. These obscure widows somehow end up playing a part in the lineage of Israel's greatest king. And if you're still keeping score at home, you know that David was the ancestor of Jesus, the Messiah, who often called himself the son of David. So these obscure widows, nobodies really in their time, somehow end up playing a part on history's greatest stage, ancestors to Jesus, the Messiah himself. And if there's a moral in this little story, it seems to be something like this, that you never know what might happen when you show extraordinary kindness to someone else. Because think about it. Ruth showed extraordinary kindness to Naomi in leaving her homeland and returning to Bethlehem with her. Boaz shows exceptional kindness to Ruth while she gleans in his field, leaving extra food and grain for her to glean from. And Naomi shows kindness to Ruth by helping arrange a marriage for her to Boaz. And on it goes. These people show exceptional kindness to one another, and the result is this amazing ending where they end up playing a part in a much larger story than they ever anticipated. So it's a great moral, it's a great lesson, it's a great incentive for us to go out and do likewise, to be exceptionally kind to each other, not knowing what eternal ripples may follow. Amen.